guys, it's JustRasika here. Hope you're doing great. So today I'm back here with a tag and it's named the Throwback Tag. So let's get started with the questions. What year were you born in? I was born in 1998. Do you have any pictures of yourself when you were younger? Yes, I do have some and I picked up 2 of them. And the first one is in October 2000. So yeah. And the second one was in October 2001. What TV shows did you grow up watching? So, I never watched TV as a kid. The only cartoon that I would watch would be Totally Spies. And I still think it's an amazing show and I watch it times to times. What did you want to be when you grew up, and do you still want to be that? As a kid, I wanted to be a spy, since watching Totally Spies, obviously. And nowadays, very deep in my heart, I still want to be a spy. What were your favorite toys to play with? As maybe all little girls, I played with dolls and Barbies and stuff like that. But I also played a lot with rocks, water, dirt, and it still is my best memory of my childhood. What's the most embarrassing thing you can remember doing? I couldn't remember any embarrassing moments, so I asked my parents and they said I didn't have so far any, so that's cool. Show something you did in kindergarten. So here's the... I don't remember how old I was when I did all this, but that's kind of a drawing with my name behind. Yes. What an artist. 3 songs you loved to listen to as a child. I did not listen to a lot of songs while being a kid, but when I was listening to some things were mostly like narrated stories with music and different voices, and yes, 2 of them was different stories, and that's what I listened to the most. And the 3rd one was just like my parents randomly singing at home. What was one funny thing you dressed up as for Halloween when you were younger? I did not celebrate Halloween as a kid. The first time I ever dressed up, I think it was for Halloween, was when I was 10, I think. And so I don't know who organized, someone organized a little party for kids around town, and I was dressed up as a witch with the pointy hat, with a black dress, a little pot, and some blue eyeshadows that my dad had drawn with some face paint. And I actually won the 2nd or 3rd prize for the best costume. And it was completely like, oh, I won, that's so cool. And I won a little dog, not a real dog, but a little doggy, and it was cool. Tell a story of something you remember when you were young. When I was 5 years old, I discovered Indonesia for the first time. So for my 5th birthday, we came to my father's hometown and we stayed there like a few months. And so in Indonesia, things are kind of different. It's way more open, like how the people live, how things you see that you don't usually see in Europe, like for example slaughtering animals, death, and marriage. I never saw so much marriage in France in 10 years in France than in 1 week in Indonesia, if that makes any sense. So my little me, in 5 years old, so little tiny me, was playing with a kid out in my house. So the house there is kind of weird. There is 1 room and there's grass, 1 room, grass, and everybody has that kind of house in Indonesia, so far as I know. So we suddenly hear an animal scream screaming like anything, just like screaming, and we could hear it all the street, and the streets are kind of long, just like it was so loud. It was coming from our neighbors, who may be my super cousin from this father's dog too, I don't know, maybe family, I think it's family, yeah, I think it is. Anyway, they actually had a pig. That's what my mom explained when I asked her. They have a pig and they sold it to get, so someone bought it to slaughter it somewhere to make little, like, I know, bacon. They're not eating bacon, but anyway, something like that. And I became kind of upset, just like, how dare they take this poor animal and going to slaughter it, and it was screaming like anything. So little tiny me went there in the neighbor's house, my family, and there were two men carrying this this pig on a bamboo, and so those guys were not of my family. They were, I don't know who they were, but anyway, they're not my family. And just the pig was screaming everything out of his body. It was just like crazy, and I became so upset. I just like waited past, and I punched the guy in the back, just like that. Hello, punching you in the back. And that's what I did. I really put all my strength to make the most pain I could. And I almost got scared, but not really. Just the guy said, ouch, and he didn't even turn around, say, hey, that's not good, or whatever. But that's a little story that I punched someone for the first time at 5. Maybe not the first time. Are there anything special you've kept from when you were a child? So we did move a lot between my childhood and my teenagehood. So the only thing I keep, not because it's precious or anything, just because I found out maybe in one pocket or whatever, it's a present that I got from my childhood best friend, and I think it was for my 6th or 7th birthday. It is a little tiny shoes. I can't do the focus, so I'm gonna take a picture of it. So it's a little shoes to put to your necklace, and it has that kind of googly eyes which catches the light when it's daylight and glows at night with a daisy on the front, and I think it's really cute. Sometimes I wear it. What was something weird you used to do as a child? I won't say it's weird or anything, but it's something I did when I was a kid a lot. Every time I heard music, I would dance, no matter if it was alone or in front of 100 people. I hear music, I would just go right in the front of everyone and start dancing. So I have a picture that proves it, but well, there's no people here, but I would always dress up and dance. Yeah, that was my thing, dancing. What's the scariest thing you remember that happened to you when you were younger? So the question really mentions that when you were younger and not when you were a kid. So I'm really gonna take this opportunity to tell you one of my scariest, I will say the scariest thing ever is happened 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I was younger, so when I was 13 at that time. I'm 15 now. So what happened is, in Indonesia, when we were living there, even though you can only drive at 17, even 7 years old kids can drive motorcycles in the village. So, as I really like driving motorcycles, at 13 I was driving a motorcycle, like normal. And so we were going into his friend's house, not really house, but it was like kind of a festival and stuff like that. It was already night and I was driving, my mom was behind me, And I had a friend coming from England, were coming to visit. So it was like, really, yeah, we're gonna see people that I know, that's so cool. So I went a little very fast on the road at night, which in Indonesia is not, there is no so much light, it's not very, the roads aren't very neat, nobody really follows them, you know, regulations, stop signs and stuff like that. It's kind of dangerous to drive there. Anyway, so I was kind of going really fast. My mom was like, hey, come on, cool, calm down. Anyway, I drove so fast when I realized, too late of course, that I was going straight into the middle of a pile of sand that was being used to repair the road. So it was like a huge, like really nice mountain of sand. We actually just like we jumped and we fell. That's the not cool thing. And we just like, we still was, I don't know how to explain, but the motorcycle went falling and it just like, that's a good sound, down the road. So the first thing I thought of it was my mom. How was my mom going? So I just like went right, took off the motorcycle, and so my mom was fine. I was also, and it was the scariest thing I ever did. I mean, I was fine. I did got my hand blocked, like really blocked. It wouldn't move like that. And for about 2 weeks, and my mom had like some blood, how do you say, just like, you know, some, God, what's that name already? Some bruises, yes. So that's all we get. And the most ironic thing of that story is that we fell right in front of a doctor who was still open, right in front. So automatically people came rushing, see how we were, if nothing was broken and stuff like that. So they took us to the doctor. The doctor like put some, just like disinfected, I think that's the word, disinfected our bruises and stuff like that. Was not really helpful. Charged us 6 times the price just because we were white and they assumed we were rich. Anyway, that's not the problem. And I came out of the thing completely like my head was like this. Luckily, some friends actually knew we fell and they took us to the festival safe and sound. So that's the scariest thing of my life so far. How is the word different from how it was like when you were a child? So there's a lot, there is a few points that I'd like to tell you for these questions. First of all, I consider myself being a 90 kid, even if I am born 2 years before 2000. So at least at that time we had no smartphones, cell phones, internet. We could have them, but it was not common sense yet. So as I grew up, a lot of people were outside talking, the moms were talking somewhere, all the kids would come and play outside. I think it was really nice. And now, even if I live in a place where there's a lot of kids, I rarely see them play outside. So I think it's kind of sad that people just stay in their houses and not talking to each other. That's sad. Also, when I was a kid, I was not at all a lonely person. Yeah, because playing outside, literally, I was like begging my mom to say, oh, can I stay 5 minutes more outside? And I was just like, she had to beg me to go outside. It's sad where we live in. Of course, there is much things better now, like YouTube. Also, a lot of internet. Being homeschooled, internet helped me a lot to do my studies and stuff like that. There is more science going on, more medicine and stuff like that. So in one one sense it's better, the world we live in today, but another sense we lose a little bit of humanity, I think. That's what I think about the word now and then. So that's it for this tag. I hope you enjoy it, and I tag you to do it because it's really fun to do. All the questions are in the description box below. I'll catch you later because I'm so hungry. I'm really gonna run to the kitchen and grab some food. I'll catch you later. Bye! Hey, did you know I had a Twitter? The link is down below in the description box. Follow me and we can have a chat whenever you want. Bye!